All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports and Knowledge podcast. I know that plenty of college football fans right now tonight are focused on the Pac 12 championship game, and it's a doozy as you got Washington leading Oregon 20 to 10 at the break. But there was also some big news today by the two teams that have been left behind to carry the Pac 12 banner. And I'm talking about the Pac 2 right now with Oregon State and Washington State, the two neighbors, if you will, of the two teams that are getting it on to decide the Pac 12 champion for 2023. So, Oregon State and Washington State reached out to the Mountain West and they came together on a scheduling agreement, football wise, for the 2024 college football season. Now, with that said, each Mountain West team, they got 12 teams in that conference, are going to play, they're going to have seven conference games. And then an eighth game will see them take on Oregon State and Washington State. Now, Oregon State and Washington State will not be eligible for the Mountain West title game, but they are going to get their fair share of contest in with members of the Mountain West next year. Oregon State and Washington State will each play 6 games against the Mountain West. They're going to have 5 games against Power Five schools, and then they're each going to play one FCS opponent for 2024. And honestly, I think a lot of credit uh, needs to go around for everybody involved, both the Mountain West and the Pac 2 right here for getting this done. And I say it because it was inevitable. And long term, I do believe that there is going to be a merger between Oregon State and Washington State, along with the Mountain West. And I've been saying that for quite some time right now. I even said it back when Stanford and Cal had yet to commit to the ACC that, you know what, maybe those four schools could have worked together to do something on the West Coast. Obviously, Cal and Stanford were looking more from the money aspect, which is why they joined the ACC. But nonetheless, I think long term it's going to happen where you're going to see the Pac 2 merge with the Mountain West. I think right now this is a band aid, if you will, for Oregon State and Washington State to kind of take care of things, at least for the 2024 college football season. Transfer portals coming up. They don't want to lose more kids than they already possibly are. I mean, DJU, Oregon State starting quarterback for this past season, is in the transfer portal, and that probably was to be expected after Jonathan Smith took the job at Michigan State. Cam Ward, the starting quarterback for Washington State, he's in the transfer portal as well. More than likely, he's going to be going to another Power Five school. But with that said, short term, obviously, Oregon State and Washington State, they've still got to navigate through their legal proceedings with the departing members of the Pac 12 over money. And honestly, I think when it's all said and done, I think sooner rather than later, there's going to be an agreement reached that probably more than likely could benefit all parties involved. Nonetheless, Oregon State and Washington State still have leverage in that due to the bylaws in the Pac 12 conference. With that said, I think when it's all said and done, Oregon State and Washington State are going to get control of the Pac 12 and they will merge the Mountain West into their new league. With that said, this merger could work. And like I said before, and I'll say it again, I'll tell you why. I think, right here, everybody's on the same page and everybody's bought in. And regardless of what league that you have, whether it's an 18 league, 10-team league, 12, 14, whatever, everybody has to be on the same page. And I think going forward, at least with this new Mountain West Pac 12 merger, if you want to call it the new Pac 12, whatever, everybody is on the same page. And I think it can work because all of these schools here have the potential to keep the talent on the West Coast there. And I say this because, all right, you got the glitz and glamour of USC. You got UCLA going to the Big Ten with them. You got Oregon and Washington, and they're still going to get, some quality kids that are going to want to play ball there. All of the top or even the four-star kids from the West Coast are not going to want to travel across country just to play in conference games. And it's not just football; it's the other sports. And I mean, you think about the Pac-12 standpoint from a lot of their other varsity sports, whether it was baseball, swimming. They truly were the conference of champions. Nonetheless, I don't think all of these kids are going to want to travel across country. And I think the Mountain West, along with Oregon State and Washington State, do have an opportunity to have a new footprint, if you will, in that region. And I think all of these schools, stand to benefit from this deal. And like I said, it's a win win for everybody involved. This is a short term band aid for Washington State and Oregon State, but I think this puts them on the right track towards a long term solution. Short term band aid because they're trying to save things and preserve things for the 2024 season. And I think you can expect something similar to this in other varsity sports, such as men's and women's basketball. But nonetheless, like sooner rather than later, you're going to see the Mountain West and the Pac 12 as one. So the timing was necessary for Oregon State and Washington State to try to salvage things going ahead for next season. They're beginning to see the light at the end of the tunnel, if you will. Credit to them for standing their ground. They fought the big boys, and they're still fighting the big boys that are leaving this league. They're standing on their beliefs, and I think when it's all said and done, Oregon State, Washington State, the new Pac-12, and the Mountain West could come out of this thing smelling like a rose. No pun intended. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take this time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on the X, formerly known as Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it'll be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. Now you can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin, and I am signing off. And I'm saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.